Hello internet, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Peridiam, and let's talk about getting voted out with an idol in your pocket, or in your bag, or back at camp. Seriously, JT? Ozzy? Garrett? Y'all, it's been 25 seasons with the usual idol, 16 players who have been blindsided with 17 idols in their pockets. Wait, 17? Oh, right, James. Spanning over 37 tribal councils where it was still in their pocket, never to be played, and will never be played, but will forever cast a massive shadow of regret. So let's talk about them.
You stand up and say, Jeff, I have a hidden immunity idol. All of your votes are immune. The person you vote for is gone.
Cool. Well, I cannot stop smiling. And it's all good, because I'm not going anywhere. I have the immunity idol. It's all good, baby. So I have it now. I have it in my possession. And I have the two idols. That's funny. I'm going to survive with two idols.
The hidden immunity idol is all-consuming. You pick one up and you can't not hear the triumphant music booming in the background. Congratulations, you've just secured yourself at least a montage segment for the next minute or so.
And then I hear the Survivor song in the background. Oh, and I'm just sitting there like, this is freaking awesome. This is epic.
The dollar signs, bing, are in your eyes. You're invincible, unstoppable. At least 3 more days? Psh. At least Final Four, baby. And then it all comes crashing down. You're in a tight alliance. You've got the numbers, you got plan A, plan B, heck, even a plan Z. And yet, none of those plans involve perhaps the most critical piece of information. You need to play your idol. And then the votes are coming in, and then you black out. The hidden immunity idol, as we've come to know it, has existed for over 25 seasons now, dating back to season 14 Survivor Fiji in 2007, after the God Idols in Panama and Cook Islands and the underpowered one in Guatemala. We have seen a metric ton of idols get found, and most of them were played, either successfully or otherwise, but for the unfortunate few, 17 of them were not. 16 players have been blindsided, all of them with idols in their possession. Yet, interestingly, as of this video, 4 of those 16, 25%, have been in just the past 2 seasons. This intrigued me, so I've decided to take a step back and look at the big picture to see what the landscape has looked like since 2007, and then let all of us look at the data and go, interesting. All of these incidents are unique in their own way and would require a more detailed approach to fully understand the circumstances, but for now, let's take stock and look at the history of being voted out with an idol in your pocket in Survivor.
You know, it looks idolish.
It could definitely say like immunity idol in Chinese, and I'd have no idea. It's a weird symbol, so I don't know what it stands for.
The thought of this woman having a blank one, I would not be able to take it. I would pass out in pure joy. My head would explode. Please let that happen. Please. That would be the best thing ever. That would be the best. That would be the best one ever. You pull out a big thing. And it was like, what you mean? But they don't have a writing on there. You just have to have some. Wow, I want to D.
Amusingly, the first season to ever feature the not overpowered idol didn't have anyone get blindsided with it in their pocket. We actually saw our first successful idol play with Yao-Man. Go Yao-Man. Game changer. But then we get to perhaps the best blindside as far as this video subject goes with the next season, Survivor China, and James, who was blindsided with not 1, but 2 idols in his pocket. Not just unprecedented, but also statistically likely to never happen again. The situation around James's idols are fascinating in that one idol he was gifted by an alliance mate, Todd, to secure James's safety through the swap. But James didn't need that idol, and then he went to his own camp during the swap and picked up a second one. And he didn't need that one either, at least not yet. And so there he goes through the post-merge, happily sitting on 2 idols all the way up until the final 7. Yes, James gets to the final 7 with 2 idols, and he doesn't play either. James, I gotta ask, you feeling lucky, punk? I'm guessing the final 5 was the last time he could play them. Otherwise, I'm speechless. But regardless, James was the first to get knocked out with an idol in his pocket, or in this case, his bag, because those idols were the size of dinner plates, and some say he probably did it best. Game changer?
10th person voted out and the 4th member of our jury. James, that's 4, that's enough. Need to bring me a torch.
I the two idols. I guess I should have played them. I'm kind of disappointed in myself. I kind of caught a feeling, but I still didn't do it. You can't be angry with anybody. It's a game. I rolled the dice too many times, and I just got caught up.
Here's something to note about the first era of Survivor featuring idols. In the first 6 seasons with the usual idol, 5 people were blindsided with 1 in their possession. Nearly a third of the total amount in 25 seasons happened in the first quarter. Why is that? I'm guessing it's because the gameplay around the idol was so new, many players felt more comfortable holding on to them and not just playing them any chance they could. The record for most amount of tribal councils to hold an idol and not play it and then get blindsided while still holding it is 6. Ozzy in Micronesia, 1 season later, clearly taking a page from James's playbook, held onto his idol for 6 tribals before he was blindsided at the final 9. He was way too comfortable and it got to his head. James held his idols for 4 tribals, which is the 3rd longest amount of the 16 players featured in this video. Amusingly though, Jason Siska was then blindsided in Survivor Micronesia in the episode right after Ozzy's ouster, where he found the idol that was put back into the game once Ozzy left. Jason was absolutely on the bottom, didn't win immunity, but he did find the idol, and then proceeded to not play it. And yet, that wasn't the worst move of the season. Sorry, Erik, apparently it's still in fashion to drag you. Jason sets the record for the least amount of possible tribals to hold an idol before getting a swift kick in the rear. Just 1. And it's a feat that wouldn't be repeated for quite some time.
If all goes to plan, Jason will feel comfortable enough not to play his idol, and he will not win immunity today. So he's done. It would be perfect, it would be brilliant for Jason to go out just like Ozzy. Blindsided, no idea that it's what's hitting him in the face. Would love it. And I have a smile on my face. Sorry about that.
If anybody has the hidden immunity idol and you want to play it, now would be the time to do so. Okay, 11th person voted out of Survivor fans versus favorites and the 3rd member of our jury. Jason, that's 4, that's enough. You need to bring me your torch.
We saw Brendan in Survivor Tocantins 2 seasons later find an idol by the tree mail in the pre-merge and then not need it until his 2nd tribal council, the first one of the merge, where he was blindsided by the Warrior Alliance. Brendan didn't know where JT and Steven's loyalties lied and, well, probably should have known better, but then I guess everyone was under JT's spell that season. We also saw Erik Cardona, the guy who was clotheslined by the clothesline in Survivor Samoa. He held onto his idol for 2 tribal councils before randomly getting sniped by his own tribe, another really bad move that in hindsight was probably the worst move of the season. Erik didn't get to play his idol, but he did get to sit on the jury from that point forward and cheer on as the people who took him out were then humiliated for the next straight month and a half by Russell Hantz. So that's just in the first 6 seasons since the idol was introduced. There's a lot to talk about in those seasons. But what really strikes me as odd is how in the next 6 seasons, from Heroes vs. Villains until Survivor Philippines, nobody was blindsided with an idol in stow. Perhaps this is indicative of maybe the returning players in season 20 who by this point knew better, or perhaps because those in the majority who held the power usually held the idols and thus never needed to play them.
It really doesn't even matter what it says, because I already have the idol. So, might as well just throw it away in the volcano. Bye-bye.
Either way, for whatever reason, it wasn't until season 26, Caramoan, where we not only saw our next juicy blindside, but we also saw our first woman to get blindsided with an idol in her pocket. Andrea Balki at the final 7 had an idol that everyone knew about, but she felt safe enough to not play it. Actually, that's a little bit similar to James, given how late it was into the game. She held this idol for 2 tribal councils and 1 too many, being the only woman in Survivor history to do so up until recently. But first, before we get there, Garrett Hoggie. Season 28, Garrett was the first player in the history of Survivor to find an idol on day 1, and then get voted out with that same idol in his pocket by day 6. Just a little bit too comfortable there, eh, Garrett? Garrett was given one of those special day 1 advantage/disadvantages where he was sent to his camp ahead of everyone else, and he decided to look for an idol, and then he found it, but clearly it made no difference. Well, it maybe made him a little cockier than he needed to be. He didn't even bring his idol to the tribal council that he was voted off at. Yeah, not a good look. That's pretty bad.
I left a hidden immunity idol just sitting at camp, dug up, that I didn't even bring because I was so sure that I knew what was going to happen tonight. It's really embarrassing in a lot of different ways. Really, really embarrassing.
In the very next season, San Juan del Sur, the record for most people taken out with an idol in Stowe was met. It was matched. 2 people. Coincidentally, they both shared the same name, but not the same passion for Natalie Anderson. Of all the idols ever found, this one might be the one that I forgot about the most. John Rocker found an idol in the pre-merge and held onto it for 2 tribals, but struck out on his 3rd. Meanwhile, John Mish, the All-American wine lover, found an idol in the post-merge, but became very comfortable. So comfortable, in fact, he didn't play it at the Final 6, despite the Final 5 being the last time an idol could be played. That's almost just as bad, if not worse, than James. The rest of the tribe pretty much knew of his idol, and so they split the vote between him and Jacqueline, his girlfriend, and yeah, he should have played it. I mean, yeah, they all should have played it, but like, the Final 6, dude. Survivor 30 and 31, Worlds Apart, and Cambodia are the only 2-season stretch up to now, present day, where nobody was blindsided with an idol on them since Karamoan. Basically, at least every other season now, someone will get voted out while holding an idol. And technically, Cambodia filmed after Ko Rong, but whatever. Although, I will say, Ko Rong's incident is a little bit strange. Scott was the recipient of the vote out, but he knew it was coming, so it wasn't necessarily a total blindside. The main difference this time was that his idol had a special rule about it. It could be combined with another idol to form a super idol. And then his ally, Ty, betrayed him and didn't form the super idol. And so Scott walked off into the sunset with Jason's idol in his pocket. I don't fully blame Scott in this case, probably the least bad of all of them given the circumstances, but still not a good look.
The 4th member of our jury, Scott.
What's going on?
No.
Wow. Scott, the tribe has spoken.
Jason won immunity, and he said, "Here, take this. I trust you. I've got an idol in my pocket that belongs to Jason. It should be with him."
In Game Changers, with the all-star cast that it had, you would expect by this point they would have learned. But then you get JT, the guy who just plays like every move is a Hail Mary. JT was blindsided in a 5-person tribe, and similar to Garrett, a comparison you probably never want to hear, JT was not only voted out amidst a tribe of 5, but he didn't even bring his idol with him to the tribal council. What can you say? Queen stays queen, and she certainly didn't need a king. Now, with the more modern seasons, we have seen these one-off idols pop up, such as with the Noble one, Chris Noble from Ghost Island. He was granted a 2-tribal-only idol, and given he was at the merge and was going to tribal that night, his very first tribal council of the entire season, mind you, you would think that he might want to use it. Well, I guess inexperience gets the best of you. We know how this one goes. He didn't use it, and was voted out 10-2. Really should have taken advantage of that small window of safety he was given. But on the flip side, at least we got a nice rap from him out of his Ponderosa video. But this leads us to season 38, Edge of Extinction, not just a catch-all phrase to describe these 16 players, but also the season. Women have been finding idols a lot more as of late, which has also correlated with the increase in women getting blindsided with unplayed idols, such as Aubrey, who held hers for 1 tribal council, the one she was voted out at. Meanwhile, you had Kelly Wentworth tie Ozzy's record by holding hers for 6 tribal councils. That's a lot of time. But then eventually the good luck caught up with her and she was dethroned in a coup by her #1 ally. Just couldn't let her break that record, huh, War Dog? It is worth noting that including season 39, Island of the Idols, many players in the past 6 or 7 seasons aren't able to hold these idols for very long, unlike how it used to be in the first 6 seasons or so. Including Vince from Survivor Island of the Idols season 39, 5 of the past 7 players voted out with an idol were attending their first tribal council with that idol in their pocket. Scott, JT, Chris, Aubrey, and now Vince. Perhaps that's a lesson to be learned, especially with these short shelf life idols coming into play. If you're on the island, do everything in your power, including play your idol, to keep yourself on that island for one more day. What's up, Jacques? And then Chelsea. Chelsea was the latest victim, number 16 on this list, but definitely won't be the last. It's very possible someone out there watching this video for a future season could be the next person. So please, I beg of you, don't be that person. For your sake, not mine.
Imagine training for a marathon for 6 years and then finally getting to run the marathon and like pulling your hamstring in the first 10 minutes and then probably never getting to run a marathon again.
But that's going to be the fairly long history of players getting voted out with an idol in their pocket, or their bag, or back at camp. To date, 109 idols have been found, yet only 16 have had this happen. It's not the highest number, but man, does that 15% cut deep. So what do you guys think about all of these blindsides? These idols lost to the nether. That Chelsea winner pick not looking too hot, huh? Yeah, I've been there. But either way, my name is still Peridiam. I'm saying thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to bring your idol to Tribal on your way out of camp. And then, in the famous words of game changer James Clement, don't bite the apple. Seriously, straight up. Just play the damn thing.
I've been telling them not to eat that apple, stay away from that temptation this whole time. And they ate it, so they're gonna enjoy, and I'm gonna enjoy watching them eat that apple and look at themselves being, damn, maybe he was right. We were out here naked when we could have been happy frolicking and not knowing any better. Got rid of everybody and focused on what we had to do. Now it's gonna be a struggle.
Feeling like a boss as I'm island hopping. The buzz so real, it's like we bottle popping. Choppers on deck, their hearts flush when they drop it. Straight calling dudes blunt when they body flopping. Check your back from that blind side. They say the needy strong, but they change with the high tide. The dark side, the low V with the black dye. The domino effect cost me $1 million in a swell eye. Living a dream on Ponderosa. Swung for the fences, I call it Sammy Sosa. We juice all day and toss the corks in the roasters. Probes on deck, feel the burn when he hosts ya. Living a dream on Ponderosa. Swung for the fences, I call it Sammy Sosa. We juice all day and toss the corks in the roasters. Probes on deck, feel the burn when he hosts ya. Vanaka. Great take, guys. Nailed it.